Hi guys, Rich from Smart. Welcome back to another rack walkthrough video. So this rack walkthrough we're going to be doing here is actually going to be heading down to a project in Kent for YouTuber and CEO Mark Tilbury. So we actually got contacted by him to do his cinema room probably in about October, and he said, oh, I'd like a cinema room, media room. Can you do it before Christmas? Now, in usual circumstances, the answer to that would have been no. But spoke to our good friends Louise and Johnny at Louise Tarling, said, listen, we've got this job down in Kent. Can you give us a hand on it? Which they jumped at the chance because it is actually a really high-spec media room. When I say it's a high-spec media room, this room is incredible, as you've just seen by that little bit of render there. The room is sensational. So we're going to have Starscape fibre optics going in there. We've got LED light. We've got a bit of cinema systems. We've got the wooden panels on the wall. We've got some cinema seating going in there. 86-inch TV and then a Paradigm sound system powered by Anthem. Gorgeous. Anyway, let me take you through what I've got on the rack walkthrough. So starting up at the top here, this is actually a PDU. Not the PDUs that you used to see on our projects. So for jobs sometimes where it doesn't maybe need network control, which is actually all the time, but because it's a media room and it's not actually controlling what I'd call core services in the house. Yes, we've got the lighting local to the media room, but we're not controlling like the full house network. This is just an isolated room. So we don't really need to have the equipment that we've got on there. We'll still have remote monitoring in the system, but we don't need to necessarily be able to do remote resets. There is a little cupboard within the rack room, and if we needed to do a reset, we can just tell the client, knock the switches off, the label to go on there, yeah, and that will reset those devices. So for things like amplifiers, these are actually really good for that. So next up here, we have got a network switch. Now, this is only actually an 8-port unmanaged switch. Reason that we're using this on this job, same reason for everything else on here, it's just because this is just local for this room. Now, actually, since doing this job, clients asked us to do all the Wi-Fi and network upgrade throughout the house. So we're going to be doing that. So it will be sat on a managed network. However, just for this little AV rack in here, we've gone for the unmanaged switch. Again, AOS rack strip, which has got the support details, site ID and the asset ID, which is to go on yet. And then we've got the Core 3 controller. So the Cinna's introducing these on quite a few videos at the minute. These are the new series of the Control4 processors. CA10 still sits at the top of the tree. They then have the Core 5. This is the Core 3. Then there's a Core 1. Then there's a CA1. So it's still a mid-range processor. The reason we've used the Core 3, which is designed for small home applications, as opposed to just using a Core 1, which is designed for single room applications like a cinema or media room, is because it allows a bit of expansion to grow. Now, just because it is a single room, obviously, hopefully client will expand upon that, but also it allows us a bit more flexibility. We've got a contactum really on there if we needed it. We've got a few extra I/O on that device available for us to use. Down there we've got a blank, and then the next device here doesn't actually look like it's anything. And the reason for that is because the components are actually hidden in there a little bit. What we're going to have on there is client supplying an Apple TV, and then we have an NVIDIA Shield as well. So we've got both of those devices in there for streaming, for Netflix. Now, because the client actually requested a Blu Ray player, DVD player put in the rack, I think we've actually got two jobs that still have a DVD player in. But we've got the DVD player in here. This is the Panasonic Blu Ray that we're using here. And the reason we're using a Panasonic Blu Ray is because there is an IP driver available Control4, and we don't have to put one of these ugly IR buds on the front of it. However, leave one in there just in case we do need one. So although this is actually a cinema/media room, client's actually going to use this for a really cool purpose, which was going to explain the one extra source that we're going to have into this AVR. So the client has a podcast called Strike It Big. He's getting some really cool guests in on that podcast, and they tend to shoot 2 to 3 to 4 podcasts back to back in a day. Now, whilst the next guest is waiting downstairs to then come up to their podcast room, do a podcast with Curtis and Matt, they're going to be able to watch a live feed from the podcast through the cinema downstairs in the room below. Beautiful little touch. And I mean, they get the most out of the room. Finally, coming down here, we've got the Anthem AVR. So this model is the MRX 740. So we're using the MRX 740 version because we've only got 7 channels of audio to power. So we've got the LCR that are going to be built into the Paradigm soundbar. We're then going to have rear left, rear right, and then we're going to have the 2 height channels in there as well to give him 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos system. So you might have noticed, I'm not actually levitating this, you can see there's a trolley in. Now in our rack build lab, we've got a couple of these trolleys, and that means we can work on the racks high up, but we can actually swing it around really easy, you know, for maintenance. So rather than building this 15-year rack crouched down all the time, lads can work on it at a nice ergonomic height, and then none of them are going to be suing me when they get bad back or a better strain injury. So yeah, so now we've spun the rack around, you can see it from the back. Now this is a little bit different, but you may have seen it on some of our other projects. So that there looks like it's a Speakon connector, and it sits in this chassis like the rest of them. That's because it is on a standard fitting called a D-type. So on the D-type fitting, we can have a selection of, you know, we've got a couple of blanks there, but then we've got the Speakons there for the speakers. But then we've got, like this is a blue Speakon, but that is actually providing our power into the rack. So rather than using it in for a socket, that is a lockable power connector, but the reason it's blue and they've got different fitments is I can't pull 240 mains into one of the speaker connections and blow that up. So along here we've got all the blanks, but on the end we've got 3 datas. So one of those is going to be the uplink onto the main house network, and then we've got 2 datas. One is going to go to the TV, and then we've also got a spare. We've got a couple here which actually need to get in, which have been added a little bit later down the line. The Control4 vibrant lighting line wasn't available while this job had been spec'd on, so we're reverting back to good old trusty DMX, and we're going to put in DMX controllers. So that'll be up to the DMX controller to control the lighting in that room, and the engine will sit in this rack as normal. We then got a couple of outputs there that are going to run to the subs in this room. Now the sub we're using is going to be the Paradigm sub as well. Now this, for its small space, absolutely packs a punch. First time we've used it, but we heard it on demo at Pulse Cinemas and we're very impressed, and it's going to be going into this room. So coming beyond there, same as every rack, we've got lacing bars carrying the powers and the data to the devices on these levels. And then last but not least, we've got on the bottom here, we've got our AVR. So on the AVR, audio video receiver, MRX740, you've got our sub outputs, data connection, a serial connection in as well, because sometimes I find the Anthem's a little bit finicky on the IP control. So we actually use serial RS232 to control our Anthems, but the IP connection is so that we can get into the web GUI of the device, but also then upload the speaker calibration directly into it. So you can see all the HDMI cables on the bottom of there. The reason we've got more HDMI cables than usual on the job is because we've got all the sources located in the rack. Usually when you'll see our projects, we will have video distribution. So the video distribution, we're carrying the video signal and we'll only have a single HDMI in there. However, on this job, we've got 4. If you want to see where the racks like this end up, please make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Click the bell button for notifications so you can get notified when we install this rack on site. And if you've got any questions about this or any of our projects or videos, get in the comments on the video or send us an email to hello@aos-group.co.uk or click the contact us on our website and someone will be in touch. And I'll see you on the next one.